And you guys just stopped what you were doing, turned around, dropped your things, and rolled on the floor laughing before I even realized why.
That's a perfect story.
Seeing eyes of mine.
So, welcome. This is our first podcast interview for the whole crew, where we are going to interview the whole crew. And where better to start than with my mother.
Hi.
Welcome, Mom. Okay. So I guess I just wanted to, I just had this idea that was like, why don't we just it'd be fun just to talk to the family and have this and do this. So I thought we would just talk a little bit. So
Let's talk.
Well, anyway, why don't we start with going on right now, which was, 4 days ago, you became a grandmother you had your 7th grandchild, my child, Winifred. We all know her as Fred, though, of course. Fred, you watching this now? Hi, Fred.
Hi, Freddie.
You are 4 days old now. But, so what do you, why don't we start there? So what were you thinking when, actually, why don't we start with, how about when we told you that we were having a baby?
It was so exciting. It wasn't something I was sure was ever going to happen, but
Now, why do you say that?
Well, it's been a long time coming, and sometimes I heard some things from, I don't know, you and Maria that maybe insinuated maybe it was never going to happen, but I always thought maybe. You never know. You never know.
Wait. What did we say that insinuated that would never happen?
The dogs were your children?
Oh, of course. Dogs, Mom, your dogs are your children, too, okay? And you still...
Well, my kids are all grown up. My dogs are my babies. So, that's a different thing.
Okay. I guess I'll give you that, though, because people are allowed to love their dogs and have kids as well. Because the one thing that's funny about that, to hear that a little bit, which isn't completely surprising to me, but it's a little bit surprising, because I feel like my whole life growing up, I feel like my whole life growing up, I've always been told by my aunts and uncles and you guys that, oh, you're definitely going to have kids. You're such a kid person.
Oh, you're so good with kids. Maria's so good with kids. I knew you'd be amazing parents.
Just not quite sure what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. The true test, do you think we're going to have another kid?
I think there's a very good chance. I really do.
Okay.
I really do.
I was going to say, I think you might be in a position to expect the unexpected at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be heartbroken if it didn't happen. We've got Freddie, but I'm not ruling it out right now.
Yeah, of course. Because the other thing I was wondering too is when we first told you, which was it just before New Year's, I was a little surprised by your reaction and Dad's reaction a little bit. Because you guys were very excited, and not to think that, not that I thought you wouldn't be excited, but it is your 7th grandchild, I'd be like, oh, another one, great, but you guys seem like really, really excited, which was, I was like, oh, wow, they're really, really excited.
We're really excited about all of them.
Of course.
The 7th one is as exciting as the 1st or the 3rd, or they're all very exciting.
Oh, gosh. Or Grandma Judy said, oh, this is number 33, I think she said, of grandkids and great-grandkids.
Yes.
Grandma Judy said that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, one thing we were talking about it the other night, about the delivery and stuff, and with Maria as well, because I thought that, because one thing that I was really worried about Maria, because she has so much anxiety and she gets so nervous about things, is she was really nervous about delivering. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just like I told you last night, I was just in shock by how unfazed she was by it.
She was amazing. She was truly amazing.
Yeah, because again, she had the baby. Fred was born at 8:19 in the morning, mm-hmm. and by what was it, maybe 1 o'clock, we had already had some visitors by then, and people brought Tim Hortons and stuff. They're doing this, and she's going, after they left, she's going around picking up the cups and throwing them away, and she's already on her feet and walking around and
I couldn't do that after
behaving
my first baby.
pretty normal.
She's really, really strong, amazing woman.
I can't even believe it, really, because honestly, I was expecting to have her essentially, bedridden for like at least a week.
Yeah, but no, she's amazing.
Because that's what you're telling me too. That like when you had Billy,
I could not stand up afterwards. I needed help to move anywhere. Even it took me about 2 weeks to be able to get around normally.
Yeah.
And
so she's like acting like pretty much completely normal.
Yeah,
now,
pretty much.
She's just the craziest
amazing,
thing ever.
Really amazing.
Yeah, and especially since like in her, coming to this point, it was what she was most worried about the entire time. So it's like, oh my gosh, even though she was so miserable being pregnant. Sorry, Fred. But, yeah, she really was. But we couldn't be happier, and she's such a natural too.
Oh.
And
she's beautiful, beautiful baby.
Yeah. Fred's doing awesome. Can't wait to do a little photo shoot very soon with Cookie Monster, doing a real one. But yeah, cool. Okay, now I want to go back a little bit too. I want to go back to. I feel like I've heard parts of this story, like pieces of it. Like I know little details, but I don't really. I want to actually go back to like how you and Dad met.
How we met.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we were both 17. I was working at my first job in the Eastern Hills Mall at York Steakhouse for a while. I remember, working on the line and seeing the manager interviewing Dad and thinking.
And how long had you worked there at that point?
Oh, geez.
Over
I don't know,
a year?
a few months. No,
a couple months. Okay.
A few months maybe. I'm not exactly sure at what point that was, but I remember distinctly him being interviewed and thinking, "Oh, he's cute. I hope he gets hired." And he was.
He was cute or hired?
Both, both. But he was really, really shy. He was put on busboy. I was taking orders and stuff, but he was really shy. But eventually, we had a lot of parties.
Yeah.
And we both come and we started going out at 17 and.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, and then at 19, there came Billy.
Yeah, yeah. We got married a couple of years later, and we've been married for 33 plus years now. We're very happy.
Oh, wow, that is pretty crazy. Wow. So what was it about Dad though that made you want to essentially go out to date him, start a relationship? Anything beyond that you thought he was cute?
Oh, he was funny. He was fun to be with. He obviously liked me. We just really clicked very soon. And
what do you think is it that made you click? Was there any like interests that you guys had in common or anything like that? No, wait. It sounds
not a lot.
The way you just did that made it seem like there's something that you want to say that you're not going to say.
Well, no, I mean he's very technical and computer, and I'm not, and he's very athletic, and I've never been, but but he liked the cookies I made. That's great.
Maria's good at making cookies
and
as well.
She's very good cook. Very good cook.
Yeah, so that's interesting though. But wow, okay. So that is so interesting though, because you're right, because like Dad is so has a very analytical mind, and I like what you said too, is that you said that he was shy.
He was really shy. And in those days, I wasn't.
You weren't shy? See, I totally would have kind of had that reversed, especially with all the stories of things that I've heard of Dad doing and some photos that I've seen of him like even riding his dirt bike into a lake off of a ramp. Not that that's like necessarily a standpoint of being shy or not, because he may have just been doing that for himself.
He was shy until we knew each other better. Just at first, he was shy.
Oh, okay, just at first.
Just at first. Yeah.
Interesting. He was shy at first, and you were not shy. Okay.
No.
Yeah, that's right. You were not shy at all. So you were, because I remember hearing some stories of some high school stories at St. Greg's?
Sacred Heart.
Oh, it's Sacred Heart in high school. Okay, yeah. Fridays was a special day there, right? What was Fridays, Mom?
my friends, we would have fun on Fridays mornings, and then we go to church and
At
have
school,
mass
right?
at school, and and
No, I don't know. And then I know what it's called, Mom. Just say it.
all right. I had a friend who would bring beer for us on Friday mornings, and we would drink beer Friday morning, and then go through mass laughing, and all the
You were
teachers
drunk
knew.
during mass?
All the teachers, the teachers knew. All
I
they
thought
said
that
was
came later. I know Alcohol Friday was what you called it.
the teacher actually told us to make sure we picked up our beer cans.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's Catholic school, right?
Well, that's
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So, but Dad went to Clarence,
yeah. I went to Clarence.
and he was a year behind you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's an interesting thing too, though, because at that point, because when you graduated, you guys were already dating, right?
Yeah.
But so, and he was still in his senior year. What was that year like?
I went to Buffalo State College, and when my classes were done, I would go to his high school, and we would hang out until he had to go to work. By that time, I think he was working at Don George's, the motorcycle shop,
Yeah.
and so we'd hang out until he had to go to work, and then
Yeah, that's interesting because one thing I hear about, again, I don't know if it's probably different back then versus it is now, that like a lot of times that's where relationships sometimes become wavy and can have a chance of not doing as well because essentially you have different demographics of people. You're in college now and he's in high school, even though there's only 1 year between you two.
well, even when we were in high school, we were at different high schools.
Oh, that's true,
and,
yeah.
So
No, that's true. That probably would have made it easier. If you went to the same high school, that may have made it even harder because it's not like necessarily you saw each other less or more than you necessarily would have. Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Interesting. And then, then you were married. Was it the year after Dad graduated high school?
Yeah.
The year after Dad graduated high school. Now, and I've heard bits and pieces of this too. Can you tell me a little bit about the proposal? Come on. I love this story.
Do you love this story?
I do love this story. I do.
All right. Well, let's see. We were going out for a couple of years, and I got pregnant, and I told him I was, and he said, "Do you want to get married?" I said yes, and a couple months later, we had a lovely wedding.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I love the way you told. I think there's one time you told me like really you kind of almost acted it out. You were because it was like if I'm wrong, you told him you were sitting at the kitchen table in Grandma Judy's kitchen, and then like you leaned him in and told him like, "Bill, I'm pregnant," and then he leans in and says, "Do you want to get married?"
something like that.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and I just thought that was really funny. Like, oh, how romantic! What a proposal! Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great. What did Grandma and Grandpa say at that?
Well, we didn't tell him for a little while, and then
About the baby or about
any of it,
about any of it?
and then
Because you got married in May.
no, we
No,
got
no.
married
I'm
in
sorry, April. April.
April 12th.
Same as Johnny's birthday.
Yeah,
April
April
12th.
12th.
That's right. I was thinking. I said May because I was thinking Anna Rose's birthday. I knew it was the same as the birthday. Yeah. So April 12th was when you were married. That's right. Wow. Yeah. And then a couple months later, Billy came along. Little Bill. Oh
He was
gosh.
born a month early.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, and then, like I said, then you looked down at him and said, "We can do better. We can do better than this." And that's when I came along. No, but anyway.
came along a
so-
year and a half after that.
Yeah.
So we a year and a half after you.
Oh yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah. But anyway, Bill. So then, what was it like? So you were 19.
Yeah.
19, and you had a baby.
I think I turned 20 a month, a couple months before.
Oh, that's right.
Just a
Yeah.
couple
But still,
months.
yeah,
I
still
was-
20.
We were thrilled.
Yeah.
Dad
And
was
we're-
working. We had a little apartment in Clarence.
Yeah. Right across from the Clarence Coffee House.
It's now a bank.
It's now a bank. It was knocked down. They built a bank there.
Yes.
But anyway, so you were 20 and Dad was 19. Where was Dad working at that point? Was he still down George's?
Still down George's, and then he got laid off, but his unemployment for that was, it was like $180. I don't know. Our rent was $190 a month. And the unemployment really covered it for a while. But then he got a job working construction, building houses.
Oh, that's right. I feel like
he
I've heard
built
about that,
houses, which, and then and he was going to school. He was going to college.
Where did he go
classes.
to school?
He started at ECC, and then he went to Buff State.
Okay, yeah.
And so he went to school out. Then from the construction job, he eventually got a job at Dell Liftgates.
Oh yeah.
As a drafter.
Good old Dell. Yeah. Wow.
And worked his way up.
Yeah.
To where we are now.
It's,
And
to the top, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
That's amazing.
quickly.
Yeah. And that's interesting. So was it like within a year of having Bill that he started at Dell? Would you say? If you kind of had a guess.
Maybe a little more than that.
A little more than that.
Not much more than that.
But that's pretty lucky, though. Or actually, no, I'd have to hear more about his side of it. But lucky in the sense that he started a job essentially probably by that time at 20 that essentially he's been in his whole life.
Yeah.
He took it to the end till he sold.
Took it.
Which is just crazy. And it's something that people nowadays I feel don't think of that at all. I think I remember seeing a statistic that most people don't stay in a job for more than like 5 to 7 years before that they start switching jobs and stuff like that, which is interesting. So that's, oh my God.
He had a lot of other companies wanting him.
Yeah, over the years. I remember.
Years.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
But every time it came up, then his company just made it
more lucrative
to stay where he was, and
yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's amazing. So then you're at that in Clarence. That was an apartment, right?
It was like a threeplex.
Okay.
We had our first apartment was just an upstairs room and a downstairs room. And then after a while we moved, I think when I got pregnant with you, then we moved to the front apartment, which was 2 bedrooms, 2 or 3 bedrooms in the living room, family room, the dining room, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then from there we moved to Cheektowaga, to the Kenville apartments, and from there to the house on Kendale.
Wow. From the Cheektowaga apartments.
Yeah,
oh my
those?
gosh, I remember those. Yeah. I remember. That's where I watched a Ninja Turtles movie. That's like one of my main only memories. All I remember from living there is like watching the Ninja Turtle movie. I don't know why. Yeah. I remember Billy had a friend.
There were so many kids.
There's so many kids.
In those
I only remember.
so
I don't remember any kids there. I just remember Billy's friend there.
You were really young.
I know I was really young, and I just remember brick everywhere, like a brick. It was like a brick horseshoe, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's just like my little pieces that I remember. I don't remember moving, but then how long were we there before we went to?
We moved there right after Joey was born, and then when we moved on to Kendale. You were 4 because I was pregnant with the twins. So you boys were 2, 4, and 6. So yeah, so for a couple of years we were there.
Couple of years.
About 2 years.
So I was 4 by the time we went to
Kendale.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And Kendale. How long did we live in Kendale? We lived there till I was in 7th grade. End of my 7th grade year. So, geez, how long was that? That was like about 10 years, you think? Yeah, probably maybe 9 or 10 years. Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of memories in that house for sure. So then, oh my God. So after having Billy and myself, did you know you wanted to have more kids?
I knew I wanted a big family. I wasn't thinking 9 particularly. I didn't have a number, but
Yeah. Yeah, but because especially because at that point you're still very young. Because when I was 4, you would have been like what, 25 probably ish, 24, 25 at that point. And then at 25, you have 2 little kids. And then now you're pregnant with twins. And
I had 3 little kids when I was pregnant with twins.
oh my gosh, that's right, Joe. Joe's so forgettable.
Oh, stop.
He's
Just
well,
stop.
we don't know his birthday even.
Oh, stop. Stop. No, the twins were born when you boys were 2, 4, and 6. When I had twins.
Sorry, Joe. Yeah, okay, that's right, Joe. Then Joe came along. Oh gosh, Joe. That's right. Oh my god. And then 5. So like I feel like most people would have said 5's enough. Well, was there anything that was the 6th one planned at all?
Oh, no, she was a big surprise. The twins were 8 months old when I got pregnant with her.
Oh, yeah, that
was a big surprise.
That is a big surprise. Yeah, so Maria is the big surprise, right?
She was a big surprise.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so then that gets us to 6. And then there's still 3 more to go at there. So
Well, that was 3 years before Anna happened.
Oh, really? Was it that long?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were closer.
No, that was...
See, I thought we were all... I thought the longest stretch was 2 years.
No, the longest are between Maria and Anna and Johnny.
Maria and Anna and Johnny. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess that is pretty... Oh, yeah, of course. Anna and Johnny, that's a big... Wow. Eddie was definitely an oops, though, right?
Well, you figure you had Johnny and he had 4 big sisters. He needed a little brother.
Okay. So it was planned as 9. It was not planned from the beginning as 9, but there was a justification for every single one.
There's always a justification.
Yeah, interesting. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because I was trying to, in a way, I sit here wondering. I think a lot of people do in a way, like, how do you get to 9 kids? Like, at one point, do you say, like, okay?
No, I absolutely knew I wanted kids.
Well, you're from a big family too. You're one of not 6
I wanted,
or 7, right?
Yeah, six. But I wanted them young, and I started going to college, and
Yeah.
I really felt like, okay, I'm gonna have my kids. I'm gonna stay home with them, and then when they go to school, I'll go to work. But anything I'm taking now is gonna be pretty much obsolete by the time. And boy, was I right.
Yeah.
Because
what were you going to school with for at the time? Art, right?
Like commercial art.
Commercial art.
Yeah,
okay.
but it was all done differently. It was all done by hand. It was all different than it would ever be done today.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been all for nothing. Yeah. But even with that goal of going after the kids are in school, after 9 kids, because at that point, how old were you when you had Ed then? Would you have been?
I think I was 36.
36. So from 19 to 36, you were pregnant.
And then by the time he was in kindergarten, I had my first grandson.
By the time Eddie was in kindergarten, you did it for your first grandson too.
Yeah, so,
oh my gosh!
And now I have 7 of those.
You have 7 of those, yeah. And now little Bill is
He's going to middle school.
Is that 6th grade there or 5th grade there?
6th grade.
6th grade. Oh my gosh, he's going to 6th grade.
6th grade.
And then little Samson, and then
He's in 4th, and Abby's in 2nd.
Abby. Abby's older than Alaska, right?
Yeah.
And then
Abby's
Alaska.
going to 2nd grade. Alaska's going to 1st grade. Huey's going to preschool.
Yeah, and then Hugh.
And then there's Clark.
Oh yeah, Clark. Yeah, sorry, Joe's
is a year
forgettable.
old.
Like I said, Joe's forgettable.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
And
And then
Freddie.
Fred. We're here to Fred,
we
which was
have
4 days
Fred.
ago today.
That's right.
Yes. Wow. That's crazy. That's wow. What a now. Let me ask you this. So, if for some reason, if you didn't have any kids, if for some reason it just didn't happen,
Yes, it did happen.
what do you think you would be doing now? Do you think you would be in commercial art?
Maybe. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I don't know.
Well, I guess looking back, looking now, like let's say you for some reason had to go to work today. You had to get a job, and not just get whatever the first job comes. If you got to pick your job today, like what do you think you would want to do?
I have no idea. When Eddie started kindergarten, I went and got a job at JCPenney. I started the same day, and I loved it because I went there, I got dressed up, I talked to people, grown-ups. I was, really, they loved me. I was good at it, and I would come home and not have to bring home my work.
Yeah.
I could just do that. And that lasted a few months.
And then Eddie became.
Well, no, I was getting no. I was getting constant calls from school.
Yeah.
About,
Mom, can you bring me an iced coffee? Mom?
Well, not like that, but
those happen too, though.
Drama things happening at school. The school calling me for this and that, and Carrie got sick and I had to go, and Eddie, I was constantly with all these kids at school. There was always a reason somebody got sick, where it just made more sense.
Yeah,
to not.
because there's 9 kids and there's 7 days in the week, but only 5 during the. I mean, chances are someone's going to be calling.
Everybody, they just all needed me for something, so it didn't work.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I actually looking back, I remember you having a handful of jobs over the years, just like
a lot of years around Christmas time, I would get a job at Toys R Us. Or something
Hills,
like that.
right?
Yep,
Hills,
Toys
Walmart,
R Us, any department store before Christmas, and I liked it. I liked it. It helped out for Christmas, and then after Christmas, I was happy to give it up, and
Yeah, it was probably just a holiday seasonal job anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm sure some of them wanted to keep you if you would say, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did, but it wasn't my priority.
Yeah, because you weren't, because they're probably used to just like snot-nosed high school kid that just goes to work and doesn't do much and like, oh my God, this person's actually doing something and enjoying something and pleasant and smiling and yeah, so they were probably... Yeah, that's great. But to go back to like if you had to get a job today, and let's say it's not a department store job again, and let's say if you snapped your fingers, like you had the degree and you could do it, like do you think you'd want to, I don't know, run a bakery, be a teacher, do and anything, again, it could be art related thing. Let's say that degree just came and you magically knew everything you needed to do.
A bakery was something that I talked about going into with my friends, and with over the years I've thought and talked about a bakery. So possibly it would be something like that.
Yeah, because actually, when I just was listening to those things and I said bakery, it just like snapped in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot that was something that I remember over my whole life about you mentioning that was something that would be kind of a neat thing that you've always kind of wanted to do. Which is cool because didn't it almost happen once? I kind of feel like there's like the location with the storefront on Main Street.
Debbie and Jim own a house with a grandfathered business. Like they could turn it. If me and her got together and wanted to do that, we could do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but busy now.
Well, and in California, it's a bit of a commute to Main Street in Buffalo. Yeah, but yeah, that's so cool because it's so funny because like, would you if you ever could, would you like still want to open a little bakery? Or probably not.
Probably not.
You don't even want to anymore. Yeah, it's just kind of like it's past, right?
It's kind of too late.
Yeah, it's a different kind of work than you probably would want to do now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because even for myself, one of my dreams too, one of my side dreams, which is not going to happen anytime soon, but I'd always wanted to open like a very, very small cafe, like literally like just the size of this room, or even like half the size of this room, and it's like just coffee, plain coffee, like a special. For that day, and the food will be whatever it is.
Whatever
that day.
you made, yeah.
Whatever it is that day. So there's no regulars, things like that, but just coffee, maybe tea, just like simple, crazy small, that can be like operated by one person.
That's right.
That's what I want. It's like open a little corner in like Clarence or something, or in Williamsville or whatever, and one day. You never know.
Yeah,
I'd have to learn about some stuff for that too. Because one thing I figure for that would be cool. Because then like whatever the food is for that day, I imagine Maria would want to be involved in this as well. And then like because she's an amazing cook for it, and then like she could just cook something special, and then that's the stuff for the week or whatever there, and then have Fred run it. That'll be Fred's job. You're hired, Fred.
There you go.
Yeah. So what's next though? As life chugs on, you're getting more grandkids. At some point in the
Most
next
likely.
handful, let's say 5 years, Ed and Johnny will be gone, right?
Most
Well,
likely.
out of the house at least.
You never know.
Yeah. What do you think would come of when all the kids are gone? It's probably almost unimaginable because of how many kids you have and how long they have been, just a part of your life.
Oh, yeah. But
Because again, Bill right now is what, 33?
yeah.
Yeah, your oldest kid is 33 and has 3 kids of his own.
Mm-hmm.
And your youngest kid, Ed, is
17.
Oh, he's 17.
He'll be 18 in November.
Gosh, yeah, you're kicking him out then, right?
No, but he says as soon as he graduates from high school, he's moving back here.
Oh yeah. That's
He
right.
says that.
He does say that too. Yeah, no,
I don't know if that's
I've heard him
happening.
say that too. Yeah, no, because I remember, even for myself, that's because I moved out right after high school.
Yeah.
I think it was like a month they ended up staying and
With
moved right
John
up.
Sanders.
Yeah, with
and-
John Sanders in the apartment. Yeah, that was kind of a crazy thing because I remember we were talking because he had moved back to Georgia at the time, and he's like, I'm like, oh, let's get an apartment together. I was kind of just saying it, I didn't think. And then the one day he showed up at our house, and I'm just like, he's like, hey, you said we're getting an apartment, right? I was like, oh, yeah, I guess
Well,
we
you
are.
did.
No, we did. No, yeah, of
Yeah.
course we did. Well, because at the time too, because my life at the time too, I was like always making stuff. At the time, I wasn't doing puppets. I was doing magic shows and always doing paintings
Mo's.
and working at Mo's. Yeah, I'm really big into the magic, doing shows all over at the time. But I just needed like my space too. Like again, not like away from you guys or anything, but just I had toddlers and babies going through my stuff. Nothing in like I had my magic stuff, and the kids, things would just disappear all the time. It was the nature of the Kreutinger house in a lot of ways. But yeah, so then I was in the apartment. What was it for you? What was it like having? Because was I the first one to move out, or was Bill already gone by then?
No, but he was in military. I think.
That's right. He was in the military. What was it like for you when your first kids left?
Oh, well, you remember, I took you and John to Walmart, and I said, put $100 worth of whatever you need for your apartment in the
that
cart.
was awesome.
Remember?
Yeah.
And then we took it to your apartment, and every once in a while, just to make sure you eat, I would bring bags of food
Yeah.
and fill your refrigerator until I was sure you were, on your feet. And
But were you worried? I feel like so many parents...
I was excited for you. I was very excited for you. And also knowing that if it didn't work, you're welcome back, at that age. So I was very excited. You were excited. I was excited for you,
Yeah. I feel like so many parents, especially nowadays, are so like helicopter and like afraid to see, like what'll happen if you're gone or if I'm not there for you, kind of a thing. It's like, were you ever like afraid for your kids that left the house?
No, I was excited for them. Pretty much the point when you have a baby, your end goal is for them to grow up and move out and be your goal when you have the baby.
So they're not supposed to be your baby forever?
No, they're gonna grow up and be a self-sufficient, contributing member of society. That's what you want for your baby. You don't want them to be,
Yeah. Well, it's just so strange though.
But you want them to come back for Christmas.
Because as a parent, now that I am a parent, but I'm so new that this is what I'm saying is kind of projecting. Your child is your world, especially like if let's say even if you just had one kid or 2 kids, so like they are your world. They literally cannot survive, be alive without you taking care of them.
yes.
And for the way different kids grow up and the way they think, that level of independence comes at a different time for everybody, and sometimes it comes sooner than parents realize it. And sometimes it comes later than parents realize it, which is when if it's later than parents realize it, that's how problems tend to happen. And if it's sooner, then that can create a lot of frustration and conflict. So like if you were to give advice to somebody who was worried about their kid moving out, what would you say to them if they were really worried?
Well, it really depends why they were worried. Why are you worried? Why don't you think your kid can make it? what.
Because what if
there
something
a
happens?
problem there?
Because what if something happens to them, and then I'm not there? And I'm not there for them.
There, if you got a child that's you think is gonna get into drugs, get illegal anything, get arrested, that's then I'd be more concerned. But they gotta go. You're not gonna know you make it till you try.
Yeah.
You gotta do that.
But I think to them, they might think, like, what if, like, the ultimate thing happens? Like, what if there's an accident or something? And because I think that's what it is. I think it's the fear of potential guilt. Because let's say the kid goes out, moves out, and then something terrible happens, either an accident or whatever it may be. And then, like, that parent is, I think it's the fear of living in regret. I wonder.
I think what they're more afraid of is that the children are going to forget them. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I see. That's what I see. They're afraid the children go live their lives and just forget the parents.
Yeah.
Not come back.
And you know what? I think the icing on the cake to that is the harder you try to not be forgotten, the more they're going to want to potentially forget you or leave you out because of it being overbearing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. There's a point where
because I feel like in a lot of ways,
because
like it's weird because even like myself being grown up, like I feel like when I was young, you guys were pretty strict, like pretty reasonably strict, not like intensely crazy strict, but you were, we didn't get away with stuff, but then like once we were older, it's just like like total hands off, which is great, but again, I feel like that's the hard thing for parents to do is to just let go and just like, essentially live your own life, which easier for you at the time because you still had babies, when I left because Ed was so little. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's a matter of just being able to, let go and hope you let them do their thing. Yeah. Cause even like, cause again, like me, I can pretty much only speak for myself is because I left right after high school and there was a very small point where I came back for a little bit transitioning because of like apartment switching and stuff. But, yeah. And I love you guys, and I love spending time with you. I love going to visit you in California. And even when you lived here in right around the corner here, like nothing I loved more than stopping by or working on a project with Dad, him helping me out with stuff, just running to Lowe's.
That's great. We love it when, the kids come back. It's,
yeah. But I think part of what makes it so easy for me to do, even though, of course, now with the distance, it's less and less because of distance, and that's really the only reason why, because I never felt like pressure to. I never feel like, we got to go to Mom and Dad's now. It's like, hey, want to go to Mom and Dad? Let's go to Mom and Dad's. Let's see what they're up to. Let's do this, right? It's not like a chore going to see.
And that's the goal.
That is the goal.
That's the goal.
That is winning. That is definitely winning, yeah. Because even... like, I'm sure we could probably talk more. I could call more often, but in a way too, it's like if there's a month where you don't hear from me or two, it's not like I don't worry. Oh, my mom's gonna be so mad. I haven't talked to her in like a month.
Well, with you, I know you are always so busy. If I think I call you for something like, oh my gosh, what will he be doing now? I don't want to bother him,
Yeah.
But then I call once in a while. You answer, or you call me. I'm thrilled, but I don't want to bother you, I'm not going to nag you.
Never a bother. It's definitely never a bother.
You didn't call me last week. What? It's
Yeah.
none of that. I know you're busy. I love seeing what you do, and
Well, yeah, you guys are busy all the time too. Because even Dad, like I was FaceTiming. I tried to FaceTime Dad, and he was like, he must have been driving or something. But then, like half hour later, he FaceTimes me back, and he's literally on a jet ski in the ocean. like, Dad, is this a bad time? Like, I wanted to say, Dad, is this a bad time? But he called me.
Yeah, no.
But it was cool, like seeing the dolphins and stuff.
Yeah.
Like my dad talking to me on FaceTime while he's jet skiing with dolphins.
Dad's like loving his life.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I love it there, and I love when you guys come to visit. Well,
one thing with Dad that was kind of interesting too is just seeing like how again, like growing up, you have this picture of your parents, and like I said, we were kind of how it felt like as a kid that we were brought up somewhat strict, and it felt like, of course, Dad was the stricter of you guys, because if we were in trouble, like, Mom would have a talking to us, and if it was really bad, it's like, wait till Dad gets home, and it's like that type of a thing, and like being brought up with that. But then, as I got older and learning more about Dad and things that Dads had done, it's like, oh my God, he was crazy.
He was crazy.
He was crazy.
He did a lot of crazy things.
So what's one of the crazy stories you can tell me about Dad?
Oh, jeez. What did he do? Well, he, with his motorcycle, he did a lot of Evel Knievel stunts. He made a ramp to jump his pool. He. Oh
my God! Was that a above ground pool?
No, in-ground pool.
An in-ground pool?
Yeah, in Clarence, and he made a ramp to jump.
Because if you an above ground pool, it's bad enough. If you go in and hit the wall, you're gonna bust that pool out. If you fall into an in-ground pool, you don't bust that wall out. You just there's no give. It's just smash. Whoa.
Yeah, and they had cars, old cars they would work on and drive through the fields and that, and they're.
Yeah. Okay. I think I was starting to tell the story earlier. Like I remember seeing a picture of Dad, like in front of a ramp. I was like, and then he like told me about the picture. He had his motorcycle. He was like, yeah, that was when that motorcycle was at the end of its life, and I rode it off a ramp into the lake and jumped off it, and it sank to the bottom of the lake.
He really liked Evel Knievel when he was a kid.
Yeah, I'd say so. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's crazy. I remember trying to think of another story. A lot of stuff like driving them in the quarry. I think is that where he'd drive his bike all the time.
Yeah.
Is it Clarence
they
Quarry?
Had a lot of fields back there.
Yeah, well, that's something interesting too, because like even thinking about that, because like the way Dad grew up, like it sounds like there was a bunch of land.
Yeah.
That they had owned, which is very opposite of how like I grew up, and it's hard to imagine something other than what you grew up with, especially when you're young. So yeah, it's interesting. So then before we wind down, I want to know what about like before Dad. I know I was very young at that point, like 18. But like, what kind of kid were you? Like, what kind of things did you do when you were little?
Oh my God! Well, I was never like athletic. I had a banana seat bike with streamers that I would ride around. Mostly, I would prefer to get a book and I would read. I would like to sit under a tree or in my room and read. That was what I wanted to do for summer.
Yeah. Well, when you were like a little kid, though, what did you want to be when you grew up? You know that?
I wasn't thinking careers. I was thinking about my kids. I was
really even when you were like a little kid.
I had a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
She had a stay-at-home mom. I mean, this is what I knew. My friends had stay-at-home moms, most of them.
Yeah.
And it's just what I knew and what my plan was.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were number 2 as well, right?
Yeah.
Both second borns right here. We're the best.
Oh, so are you going for that second born here?
Yeah. No, hey.
I don't
know. Fred, you're great. So you grew up second oldest, one of 6 kids.
Yeah, and I did a lot of taking care of Amy and Kimmy when they were little, and watching them and doing their hair, and
Yeah, what was that? Did you guys all get along? Did you guys all play?
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part, yeah. It's kind of like anything else. Interesting. Now, do you have any stories? Just like a story you'd like to tell? A story that you'd like to tell to the whole family?
About
something,
what?
anything. Like, what was maybe a funny moment you had that, maybe in us growing up, maybe when it was something when you were young, anything at all, like just a funny thing at all. I'm just trying to think of something else to give you a little bit of because I know let me give you some memories that I have of you. So your memories of my own mother, okay? It was just coming to me off the top of the head. I remember like sometimes I don't remember what it was, but you'd get giggle fits while driving.
Yeah. I don't listen to the last station when I'm driving.
Yeah. Yeah, because you just like start laughing so hard to a point where you were crying. And we're like, Mom, you're driving. Stop. Stop. You're driving.
Yeah, I remember happening, but I don't remember specifically.
Yeah, any specific
anything,
thing went, yeah. Remember all that country twang music you'd play driving?
Yeah, I like country music.
Yeah. So I have this story of something that sticks out in my head, which is you probably won't even remember it, but it's like, I don't know why, it's something that I think about all the time. And it's something that makes me think about what a great mother you are. And it was such a small thing that, but again, it's the stupidest little thing, but I think about it all the time, is when I was in 7th grade and when we moved here to Williamsville and I went to Transit Middle, and, what a different dynamic that was, going to Cleveland Hill and then going to Transit Middle. It's very different. It's different, especially like this alone from the standpoint of like any parties at school were the Christmas party, the Easter party, this party, and then you go to Williamsville, you're not even like allowed to say Merry Christmas because they're very, everything's multicultural, which is great too. I'm not knocking that, but again, I grew up my whole life thinking like Merry Christmas. We were just so, all I knew was what I knew, and then we came here, and then everything was just so different from the things people said to the clothes that they wore, and I just remember all the kids. And I remember telling you this. All the kids wore Abercrombie shirts. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Remember I asked you for one?
Yes.
I can't remember if it was my birthday or for Christmas. I want to say Christmas. I remember asking you, I was like, Mom, everyone like wears Abercrombie shirts. I'm like, I don't have an Abercrombie shirt. And then and you're like, well, what kind? And like, what do they look like? Like, oh, they're all like, everyone wears like real bright colors, like yellows and oranges and this, and they say Abercrombie and they're nice shirts and da. And then I remember, and then I got one. And I was like, I got an Abercrombie shirt. And then I opened it up, and then I think I wore it. Maybe I didn't even wear it. I don't remember. I remember being like disappointed because it wasn't the right one. And I think we even returned it, so I could get something else. And I don't even know if we ended up doing it. I want to say I just got the gift card with the credit on it. And I don't even remember if we ever even used it again. But I remember and I don't know why I think about it so much. It's in a weird way, it's something that I regret because it gets so stupid. It's so stupid. But it's there you were being an awesome mom, with your kid asking you something to help them fit in, and you're doing everything that you can to do it for that, and even going as far as to return it. And it wasn't enough. And what a brat I was that it wasn't the right thing. And it's just something I think about. It's oh my God, what a jerk. Why did I do that? Why didn't I just wear it and be like, this is it. This is what I asked for. She did it out of the love that she had for me. It's oh gosh. So that was one thing that I regretted. There was another one too. I can't remember right now. Wow, that was a sad story. Do you have a funny story that anything else that
All right.
Oh, she's got one.
All right, I do.
Here we go.
I do. I can remember calling you boys for dinner, and you're all playing a video game.
Wait, what age? Ish.
I don't know. Billy, Adam, and Joey playing a video game. You had to be. We lived here, so.
Oh, we lived here. Okay.
And probably not too long playing a video game. Dinner's ready. Just a sec. You know the story?
I think I know. Yeah.
Well, when you say funny, that one always comes to my mind.
Yeah, that's a good one. Keep going. Just a sec, Mom.
Just a sec. So many times I call it, just a sec. I keep in there.
Boys, come out. Just a sec, Mom.
And I finally marched in here, and I said, no more sex. You come out, and you guys stopped what you were doing, turned around, dropped your things, and rolled on the floor laughing before I even realized why. And
oh my God, that's right. Oh gosh, that's a perfect story. That is exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, that was hysterical. I remember that.
I thought in many ways our family make a great sitcom. I mean, we could go through. And
more. Oh my gosh, that's great. Wow. Any closing words? Anything else you want to say?
I don't know, but this was lovely.
This is the first one. There's going to be more coming. So, All right, we're gonna interview the whole crew eventually.
Yeah, Dad will be here for the wedding, and you can do him now.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Mom. All right. Bye.
Bye.